When Fallen Angel began production, Alice Faye expected it would lead to more dramatic roles and renew her luster as one of 20th Century Fox's brightest stars. Instead, it ended up virtually ending her career. Faye was disgusted by the way Darryl Zanuck altered the film to emphasize Linda Darnell at the expense of some of Faye's best scenes, which were cut reportedly to enhance the pace of the film. Many observers felt Zanuck had grown tired of Faye's headstrong independence, and he opted to boost the fortunes of the more naive and malleable Darnell. Faye may have had a sweet and angelic screen persona, but she was a steely, self-possessed woman who knuckled under to no one. She felt betrayed and professionally degraded by Zanuck's treatment and walked out of her long-term contract. She wouldn't make another film until State Fair in 1962 and had only a few guest starring appearances in films and TV after that. In Marty Holland's novel, Stella is murdered about a third of the way into the story. On screen, she survives through most of the second act, giving Darnell much more screen time. Now, nobody can argue that more of Linda Darnell is a bad thing, but the loss of several key scenes that bolstered June's character throws the narrative out of balance, makes things come too quickly and implausibly in the last act. The escape to San Francisco, where June offers Stanton a chance at love and redemption, would have worked better if her excised scenes were left intact. Faye took some critical lumps for her performance, which I think is unfair. It wasn't every actress in Hollywood who could convincingly play a 25-year-old virgin who saves a grifter from his worst instincts. The film originally had a more action-packed climax, with Stanton and Judd getting into a cliff-top brawl after Stanton accuses the dirty cop of killing Stella. Zanuck didn't like it, however, and he had Harry Kleiner restage the conclusion in Pop's Diner instead, bringing the action full circle. As for writer Marty Holland, in July of 1945, the newly formed Mystery Writers of America elected her as its secretary, with W.R. Burnett and Raymond Chandler serving respectively as president and vice president. That year, pre-production began on a film version of her second novel, The Glass Heart, with Frank Borzaghi paying $75,000 for the rights to the still unpublished novel. Dick Powell was set to star for RKO, with James M. Cain writing the script. But something stalled the production, and then Robert Montgomery was said to be adapting the book at MGM. But he ended up making Lady in the Lake instead. The Glass Heart languished until 1949, when it was announced Robert Cummings would produce and star in it for Columbia. But The Glass Heart never made it to the screen. An original Mary Holland story did become the basis for Robert Siodmak's underrated 1950 noir, The File on Thelma Jordan, starring Barbara Stanwyck. Holland then wrote a pair of short stories for detective magazines, but after 1952, nothing. Mary Holland died of cancer in 1971. Among her effects was an unpublished manuscript called Baby Godiva, which was finally published in 2011. Woody Haught, an expert in hard-boiled fiction, praised the novel, describing it as To Kill a Mockingbird meets Lolita. He said that, quote, reading Baby Godiva, I couldn't help but wonder what Mary Holland might have gone on to write had she lived through the next wave of feminism that would arrive in the years following her death. Okay, that'll do it for this week. But your homework assignment is to get on the internet and find a version of Tom Waits performing his classic Invitation to the Blues. Then go to the Noir Alley Facebook page or Twitter feed and let me know if you, like I do, think that Mr. Waits was channeling Fallen Angel when he wrote that song. Mercy, mercy, Mr. Percy. Then join me back here next week to celebrate Mother's Day with the biggest mother martyr of them all, Joan Crawford and Mildred Pierce. Now, I need some eggs on the Jersey side, a pile of hash browns, and a pot of hot java. See you next week.